Hi, welcome back. I'm Mary Jo, also known as Sojo, and this is my channel where I talk about all my quilty stitchy things. And today is my weekly update number 74, and it is Sunday, August 18th, 2024. So this is where I talk about everything that I worked on and completed throughout the week. So not a lot was done this week, but that's okay. I still make progress on a few things, so we're going to talk about it. So I didn't get anything quilted on the long arm, but what I did do is I got a binding done on a quilt, so it's all done. So let's hang it up, take a look at it. And there it is. That is the quilt I got the binding on this week. Now this quilt top, I believe, is an Eleanor Burns pattern, but I don't remember exactly. This quilt top was made several years ago, and I quilted this sometime into the spring, and I just got the binding on. So let's go in and take a closer look at everything. And here's a closer look at the quilt. I believe the quilting pantograph I used was, I think it was called Daisies Galore, but it is a floral quilting pattern pantograph. And show a little bit about the binding. There's my binding on the edge. And we'll look at the quilt label. And there is the label. Let's take a little look at the back. There's the back where you can see the quilting on it a little bit more. Okay, I haven't shared my quilting totals in a little bit. Now, at the beginning of the year, I put a goal on myself that I was going to quilt 50 quilts this year. Well, that didn't happen. I mean, I know the year isn't over yet, but I can tell you that's not going to happen at all. But my total so far that I have quilted this year is 15, and I have finished 19 quilt tops. I've put the binding on 18. Now also, as far as knitting goes, I've knitted 2 hats, 1 baby blanket. I've crocheted 10 pairs of socks, 1 sweater, 1 cowl, 1 Roana, 1 cloak, shawl, 1 cardigan, 8 washcloths, dish towel, and I've also made a sewing machine cover and an ironing board cover. Now those were with fabric, not crochet. And let's see what else. I've completed 2 diamond paintings. Cross stitch. I made that big Words to Live by cross stitch. I finished my vintage Christmas from Lori Holt, and I've done all 12 of the samplers of the month from Country Cottage Needleworks. And now I'm working on the 9-patch series from Primrose Cottage. As far as finishing cross stitch, I've finished 1 pillow, which was the vintage cross stitch, and I've put all 12 of those samplers into months into that easel finish. So that's what I've done so far this year. Trying to keep track. Now, there could be something I've missed along the way, but that's how productive I've been this year. Of course, that doesn't count into how many of the projects I'm currently working on. Those are just things that I have finished in some way. So what else did I do this week? Well, I finished my block 7 of the Rose in Bloom block of the month, and I am using completely different fabrics. My fabrics I had picked out from Hobby Lobby for the majority of them, just because I had a gift card at Hobby Lobby at the time, so I picked my fabrics up from there. Some of the fabrics only required like a fat quarter or a 10-inch square, and those I just used fabrics that were in my stash. So let's take a look at the blocks. Let's see. This is what month 7 look like, the pinwheel block, and then I will show you what mine look like. These were my 4. That one, that one, that one, and this one. So those blocks are for 10 months and then the whole finishing together. So that was month 7. So I've got 3 more months to go on that. Now, let's see. What else did I do? Now I've also, this is my Leaders and Ender project I've been working on. this is where I am so far on that Leaders and Enders project. I do have to press that last sashing row. Now my Leaders and Enders blocks, this was all from leftover fabric from my Gnomes of the Month from Cotton Cuts last year. Because that all came pre-cut and I had all these extra pieces and I'm like, let's put it into a quilt. So that's where I am. Like I said, that last row I still have to press, or that last sashing row, and then I have another row here that I can start adding on. So I worked on that. Then I only worked on 2 other quilting projects. Let me pull them out here. I worked on the Meet the Makers kit. Now this is a kit from Riley Blake, and it came out several years ago. There are also videos on Riley Blake's YouTube channel about them. Let me show you where I am. Okay, so here is the actual pattern. And it is divided up into an alternate block, and the alternate block has several different colorways in it, and then 4 other blocks. So 5 blocks total. So as I've previously shown, all my alternate blocks are already done. These are the alternate blocks. That's the green. There's 2 different greens. There's some yellows. Let's see. Then we had pinks. I think there's a purple one in here too. Pink. Oop, there's an orange one. And an orange one. And then I had shown this before, that all of the first block, block 1, was already done. This is block 1. And I finished all of block 2. I think there's 25 of the alternate blocks, 8 of block 1, and 8 of this. So this is block 2. Block 2 is all done. And I believe block 3 and 4, there's only 4 apiece, I believe. So here is where I am on block 3. We are almost done. Not quite. But I've got those pinned in the back. So I just have to sew those, and then block 3 will be done. So there's the 4 block 3s. And then block 4. Where did I do? Let me show you what block 4 looks like. And this is what block 4 looks like. And this is where I am on that. Basically, I've got the center pinned together. Now, like I said, it's pinned. I still need to sew that seams. And then I made to make the star units around it, which I've already got that for the top and bottom. And these will go on each of the sides to make that star unit. So it's getting close to being done. Not quite yet, but it's getting there. All right. So I'm going to put all of that back together. And then I've also worked on this panel quilt right here. This is the flower marker. This was a free pattern I'd got a while ago. And here is where I am so far. I'm just starting to add the borders around this panel. I've got this first border all the way around, and now I'm adding this border all the way around that panel. So I've got it pinned on. Now this second border, these edges are supposed to be mitered together, but I didn't want to do that, so I'm not. And a pattern is merely a suggestion anyway, and I didn't want to do that suggestion. So I'm just going to put them on straight. So I've done that. Well, it's hard to see, but they're mitered right there. Now also I've made all the half square triangles and flying geese for this. And I've started to put those borders together. See? There we go. They're all pinned together. This is one of the borders. I think this is one of the top borders. So you can see they're pinned, but it's the same way with all 4 of them. So I've got all those sitting there ready to go. And that is everything I've worked on as far as quilting and sewing this week. Like I said, not a lot, but that's okay. Sometimes that's just the way it is. Now let's move on to what I've done with cross stitch. So in cross stitch, I'm working on this 9-patch series from Primrose Cottage Stitches. Now I'd shown last week where I had one of the marches done. So had one march done. And the second march is done. So I started working on the April, which this is the April 9-patch. There we go. And I have one of those done. And here's the second one I'm working on. Now I do have a plan on how I'm finish them. As I've shared before, I'm going to finish them in little pillows. I mean, you could also use them as like pin cushions, but I don't use pin cushions. And I have like this dough bowl thing. I'm going to put them all in for display. Now, I only need one. So, as I shared before, the second one, once I finish them, wonder what I'll do with them. Hopefully, maybe this week I'll start finish them, but no problems. But no promises. We'll see how far I get. Life just has a way of taking over lately. Now, as far as crochet goes, I've been working on this pattern right here. This is the Summer Evening Crochet Cardigan, and this is from Yarn Inspirations. Now, I know this is black and white, so it's hard to see, but the body of this cardigan is like a variegated yarn that I didn't use. I have used a solid, well, sort of a solid color. However, I didn't have enough to do it, so I've used 2 solid colors and making it a striped, and then the ribbing is a different color. So I'll show you what it's looking like as we come. Now, this cardigan is worked from the bottom up. So I've done the ribbing, which I did the ribbing in a pink, and as I'm starting to work on the body of this cardigan, that is done in a striped with the pattern between a green and like a cream off-white color. So I'm trying to show you. So here's where I am so far. As you can see, there is the pink. That's the little ribbing at the bottom, and this is my stripe that I've got going on with the green and the white. Now, how will this look when it's all done? I don't know. We'll see when it comes. Maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't, but we'll see. It's always good to experiment and play. Sometimes you find things you like, sometimes you find things you don't. But unless you play, you never know. Okay, one other thing to show you. And there is my diamond painting. And there's a picture of what it's supposed to look like sledding to town. This is, I think, Dreamers Designs, and it is legally licensed by Chuck Pinson. And this is a couple years old. I'll show you where I'm at. This is where I am so far. So we're making progress, but this will take me a while to get done because it is big. All right. Actually, all of my diamond paintings are a couple years old. I haven't bought any in a couple years. When I first started doing diamond painting, I kind of went a little overboard and I bought a bunch. So I'm just working through and getting them done. Okay, so that's everything that I've worked on this week. Till next time, bye.